So, last we left off, you guys were trying to deal with the stuff that had happened in regards to Nevara.
Oops.
Some conversations were had. Apologies were made. Valk swore an oath to Demir. And Demir invited her, or invited may be a strong word, more like blackmailed her into coming with us. You guys explained that you're going to be heading over to Blemix next to potentially follow a couple of leads as to where Levey's cousin may be. You guys more or less decided to kind of just dick around for a week, get some stuff in order, train some children in combat, watch a kobold destroy pieces of the house. Good stuff. A few of you did research at the library in the city of Royas, but now we are just about ready to get rolling. So was there anything that anyone wanted to do before leaving the house?
Levey's gonna see if she can't sucker a hug out of the kids goodbye.
Roll persuasion.
Fuck yeah! Don't fuck me, Jerry. 15?
You get a hug from Egress, but not Echo. Egress seems to have warmed up to you guys more than his sister.
Valk probably hides her books from where the kids can find them.
Okay.
Yeah, Demir makes sure that none of their belongings are left behind. At least her and Lish's.
So Valk, if you look in the general channel, I believe for the Discord, no, not general, it would be campaign info, I would think. You'll find a map of the layout of the house, couple maps. Where do you hide your books, or do you take them with you? Can look it over.
I am not finding the map, but probably either using my height or my wings to put them up high.
It should be pinned.
It's pinned.
That
I
makes
Also Avery just replied to it. There are 4 floors, including the basement.
honestly probably in the ceiling in my room.
Okay. There's not really a space in there. I guess there's a light up there, but old candelabra.
Okay, bottom of the trunk it is, whatever.
Okay, cool. Anything else anyone wants to do?
I think Lish wanted me to scry on Pyrocanthia.
Okay.
So Demir is going to like look at him like, what do you want me to ask her? If you're so insistent.
You know why we need to talk to her. It's not... We need to ask her about planar beings leaving the forest, and if she knows anyone or has noticed anything. I'm trying to remember what else we might need to ask her. It's too early. Right, Avery, that's it. It's planar beings leaving the forest. Have you noticed them? Do you know them? Why? Have you noticed any time fucky-wucky shenanigans? Why haven't you left? How are you doing? I don't know.
How you doing, girl?
How you doing, girl?
How you doing?
How you do it?
Spill the tea, sis.
It's fucking. It's like an email, but it's like, you come here often, like.
Yeah, do you come here to this plane of, or do you go to other plane often? Can you go between planes? If you have tried to go between planes, has it been fucky-wucky? Did you get splinched?
Have you felt an incessant need to just leave?
Yeah. You getting all this, Avery? My ramblings, are they cohesive enough for you to remember? Or should I write them down?
No, I got it. Demir will like just the most withering stare and then like go to her scry ball and try scrying on Pyrocanthia.
Okay. Let me roll. What's the DC?
I think it should be a straight 17, because they're not. Yeah, they've met the target, but she doesn't know her well, and she doesn't have any possession or anything like that. So
Yeah, you should have taken her hair. Okay.
Well, we have.
Oh, that's
we
a natural
had,
19.
We almost had a hawk, which would have been hers.
That's true. But yeah, she rolled a natural 19.
okay.
So the scry fails.
Oh wow, would you look at that? She's not here anymore.
Lish is like, I can scry on her.
Okay. You wouldn't be able to talk to her though.
That's valid. I can't talk to her. Okay, I won't do that because I can't.
You'll just have to try again later. If she's even on this plane, she might not. She might have already left.
All the more reason to try again.
Left permanently.
Volk killed her on the way down.
Sees a random like vine dryad. Better kill that.
Well, you know, when Crunchwrap Supreme sets his mind to something, you gotta back him up.
Well, that could be a direction that Valk goes. Hit woman for the king and queen of the Fae.
No, not if they're another Fae.
That's why you needed an outside party to do.
Not when somebody's bound in oath to one of them. It doesn't work that way.
Hey, different Fae then.
I'm a
But the
private
concept's good.
contractor. I'm a private contractor. It doesn't count. We have like a contract and you're paying me, but
Lish might have qualms about sending an assassin after a random Fae, but don't discount Demir.
So we
Go off, I guess.
We've reached such peak D&D. We've cycled back to freelance murder.
Aren't we all just murder hobos with extra layers?
Hey, Levey's a murder bumpkin, and she feels bad about it.
As I said, layers.
Anyway.
Oh, so we're talking about Shrek now.
Anyway,
That and Demir is going to make some spend an hour before we leave just making some food for everyone.
Okay.
She already made sure that the kids have bread that'll last for a while and that type of
Yeah.
stuff.
I recall you gave them some money for food.
Yeah.
And Val gave them fun money
Mm-hmm.
because bribery is effective.
That's all I've got.
Okay. Aaron.
Aaron's yeah. He's also gonna go track down the kids. Let's
I like to
remember-
imagine they're in the room and you're all coming in one at a time.
Yeah. And which kid is Dagger Kid?
Egress.
Aaron's
He's the one
gonna-
that stabbed the shit out of you in Levey's dream.
Wonderful, wonderful. Fond memories that Aaron does not have.
which, by the way, Levey's not breathing a word of the actual specifics of, that one stabbed you, and that one, she's also not breathing a word of the dream thing to the kids. They're
That's a
baby.
good
They don't
plan.
need that.
Yeah, I hadn't been assuming we got many details out of Levy other than ah. Anyways, but yeah, Aaron's gonna go over to him and say, we'll be gone for a while. If anyone or anything comes in, you're more than free to stab it. And then he's going to pull out his cold steel dagger, and hand it over and say, but if anything weird comes in, stab it with this.
Weird in what way?
Something that seems like magic or otherworldly, or maybe it is really, really sharp fangs or something, weird.
Okay. Because the other one, the kobold, that one has sharp fangs and actually tried to bite Echo a day or two ago.
Yeah. Oh, we'll do that. He's I don't think he's really been domesticated yet. You're more than free to
Is he a person or a pet? I'm not sure. The way you guys talk about him, the line seems really blurry.
Oh, he's
So you feel like
God. What would Aaron's opinion of this be? He is a person, but he's a person that requires a lot of, looking out for and guidance and training, so not unlike a pet.
Okay.
Anyways, you feel free to I don't know, push him off or shove him out of an area or something. But probably don't stab him.
Is he coming with you or is he staying here?
I hope he's not staying here.
Okay.
I just would not trust him in this house. without Valk around.
But you trust us.
Implicitly.
Okay. Well, thank you for the dagger.
Of course. Hope you don't have to use it.
I am,
All right,
by the way, making a list of the things that you are teaching these children. So far, it is from Tobias, you have to earn love. And second, people who need guidance
Did
are also
fucking
pets.
explicitly say that. You cannot hold it against him. He did not explicitly say. He said it about himself.
We're terrible parents.
In
Made it
front of
clear.
a child.
That child's
Hey.
fucking eavesdropping. He did not say that in front of the child willingly. This is
Valk's
entrapment.
trying to teach them responsibility. They ain't listening, but she's
And swordplay, apparently.
It's hand in hand.
She's trying to teach responsible swordplay. You don't just go waving your sword around in front of people and accidentally hurt someone. Instead, you have to use proper form and posture. You know?
Fair.
Oh my god.
None of the
We-
Wild Roses should be parents except for Levey. And maybe Lish.
Levey and Lish are the only reason we have these children, and rightfully so.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
true, honestly.
Aaron helped.
We are the
Aaron
only.
helped.
I was there.
Aaron helped moderately. Lish and Levy were
Aaron
good.
has now
They were like-
proceeded to tell the children, hey, here's a cold steel dagger. Some weird people might show up. You have the okay to stab them. Also, Sniv may or may not be a pet or a person. We don't entirely know. It's okay to be racist to him.
Sniv is a little autism machine that needs a little ADHD autism machine, I should say. Sniv is a little ADHD autism machine.
I think
And-
the proper term is gremlin.
Gremlin.
You're thinking
As
of
an
Weird
ADHD
case,
autism
probably.
machine, I also need frequent guidance and supervision. So
Fair.
Demir did tell the kids that Tasha might be coming by, and she's cool, and to just send her on to a pious, and we'll be back.
Lish will also.
So it's
remind-
up to them to decide if they can stab her.
No, Demir, like, Demir
If
gave a
anyone weird shows
description.
up at the house, you can stab them. If anyone weird with fangs shows up at the house, stab them with this dagger.
Yeah, I'm reminding them about the vampire. Don't let the vampire in the house. Don't welcome the vampire in the house. If the vampire tries to come in the house without your permission, maybe stab them if they're gonna hurt you. But if not, just wait for us to come back.
Don't
Probably
talk
better
to
to run
him.
and hide. Don't think they can defeat. But you know.
Okay, actually though, can Demir use minor illusion to like do a little bust portrait of the vampire and be like, do not talk to this guy?
Sure.
Ranger danger, street smarts.
Don't talk to him.
One of
don't
the
let
best
him
cantrips
in.
ever.
Or you could show what Tasha looks like, the one person that it's okay to talk to.
She will also do that. She will
Oh,
show.
wait, we're not allowed to
Tasha's
talk
cool.
to the people that are gonna come and fix the house.
No, you can talk to them. This woman, Tasha.
You
she,
take everything
could
fucking
be coming
literally.
through, just
They're
You are
10.
out of character. Tobias is not.
They're
screaming
10.
at- 10-year-olds don't always take. Oh my god! This is why I don't have children. This is why I don't
Is Levy
fucking
gonna have to do
children.
damage control because she's
Well,
saving
it's
it for
Tobias
like
is not-
how
it's
he
It's
has
not
a
not
so
so
much
much that they're taking everything literally. Not so much that they're taking everything literally. It's that they're getting like a lot of what feels like conflicting information at once. Like stab people that
Yeah,
show up
this is
at
why
the house,
Tobias is.
but stab people with fangs with this one. This lady's allowed to come. There's contractors coming. You can steal from them. Maybe you can't.
This is why Tobias is choosing to just stand back and let Levey and Lish do it. He's like, I'm not giving. I'm just gonna make it as less complicated as I can.
Yeah,
You can
Demir's
steal
just
from
going
them
to
only
let
if they
them
don't
know.
notice you.
Yeah, Levey was going to like have her like hug with Egress be like a goodbye as they were just starting to like actually get out the door, so she might be like, all right, what did the others tell you? And they came to say goodbye.
Okay. So
Do you have any questions, comments, or concerns?
you eventually get it worked out with things clarified.
She's like, all right, stay safe. Don't let any creepy people in the house. We have this lady called Tasha coming through. She describes Tasha. Just point her in the direction of Opius, the city, and feed yourselves, take care of yourselves, try to be nice to the contractors, don't get in the way of their work, please. We'll be back. Try and get in touch with you eventually at some point for sure. We'll check in, see how you're doing. Probably slips them another 5 gold. Just cause.
All right.
That's about it.
Cool.
Bye. Enjoy your time jump.
We come back and they're full adult tieflings as Levey saw in Dream.
And we're like,
God damn it happened again.
all right, are we hitting the fucking road or what?
Yeah.
So it's probably about 5 feet from the door. Valk goes, where are we going, by the way?
We're going to where I grew up.
And there's a sibling that we're helping.
My cousin, he's kind of like a sibling, but we're gonna go see my little sister in the process. So.
And this is a good trip or a bad trip? Nobody's told me anything about this besides I'm coming.
It's definitely going to be a trip of some sort. Definitely going to be a trip.
Bad trip, got it.
No, I mean, there's definitely going to be good that happens, but also, and she's actually going to turn to the rest of the party and point at them and just be like, you know, if on the off chance that we see certain members of my family, you guys have to promise not to maim all in sight.
Are they really that bad?
Wasn't Hawk there when she said that all that shit?
Hawk was
Hawk was there when she talked about her backstory. Yeah.
Okay.
The attempted
He
murder.
knows how bad they are.
Like even so, like I know they're basically horrible people, but I'm not sure if they would deserve death per se.
I just wanted to make sure, because I know
Lock
some
her
of
in a
us that can
closet.
be a little.
Why don't we do the same to them? See how they like it.
Valk
Aaron
leans
shrugs
over to
and
Demir.
says,
I'll follow your lead.
Thank you, Valk. I really appreciate that somebody will follow my lead concerning my own family and my own past troubles.
Not yours. Demir's lead.
Oh God.
That was the wrong choice, actually. Anyways,
Excuse me, I wrote Oath to Demir under flaws on my character sheet. Thank you very much. I am doing this properly.
You are, and it's
Yeah.
infuriating the farm girl. So I think you're doing it right. Anyways,
Aaron
let's go!
shrugs
Let's
and
fucking
says,
go! On the road again, baby!
Finally!
At last adventure, not paper sorting.
All right.
Paper sorting can be an adventure.
It's an adventure Hawk's been running from for
All right.
years.
Let's let the DM, please.
So, are you going via bird, or are you walking the whole way?
Burbs, I guess.
All right.
Unless people
and-
have something else to say. I mean,
And how many
Perhaps
times can you
including-
do that per day?
I can polymorph myself twice for 3 or 4 hours now. What am I at with level 9? Let's see. But I can't carry everybody. It just does that. So, let's see. I can polymorph for 8 hours total into an eagle. And I think I can cast it for 1 hour each, and I can do it 3 times.
Okay.
But it's still, enough to book us. Well, and Demir can polymorph too, so it can be 2 eagles for 2-3 hours. So it's
I only
like,
have an hour of eagles, so.
yeah, but you can cast polymorph twice or just once?
See, I'm not sure about that. That's a DM rolling. Or, no, I'm sorry. It's once per long rest. It's pretty.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I
so
thought it said, like, you can use a spell slot to cast polymorph, and so I wasn't sure, but it says only once per long rest, so.
And I have conjure animals as a 3rd level spell, and I also have I can burn a whole bunch of my spell slots to cast polymorph at 4th level. So I have 3 4th level 1 hours. So I mean, we can do it for like almost like 5 to 8 hours, give or take.
Okay. So with that in mind, it should only take you 4 days to get there, if you're willing to spend all of those spell slots.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, unless somebody has something else that they want to try. Because, like, when Demir's polymorph, Lish can, like, ride the broom. And I think one more person can ride the broom with him, right? So.
Yeah. Okay.
We can, work it out.
Let's have someone, you guys can choose, roll for the random encounter. So roll percentile dire 1d100.
Can I do that?
Up
Is
to
that
y'all.
cool with everybody?
Go ahead.
I'm cool with it.
It's your adventure, Ron.
Point Lars.
19.
19. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I'm having to double check something here. Okay. So while you're flying, from a from a bird's eye view, you can see a lone tree in the middle of nowhere. And it is bright pink.
Well, that's sus.
Just to
Isn't
clarify,
it Mr. Feywild?
just to clarify, is the wood pink or are the leaves pink?
It's all pink.
Do you get closer to look?
I mean, if you described it as pink and we can see it from...
You're flying.
Fair enough.
Well, we can lower ourselves as far as distance from the ground. I can cast Detect Magic and get closer. Maybe? I mean, how
Sure.
anybody else want to get closer?
You'd have to get within Detect Magic's range.
Which is 30 feet. Yeah, well, I mean, if we detect magic coming closer than that.
Detect magic. The tree does glow with a little bit of magic. Let me just double check. It is, I believe, abjuration magic. And Lish, roll an Arcana check.
$17.
You actually recognize this kind of tree.
Oh yeah?
This is called a Fey cherry.
Okay, cherry.
Yeah, it and now that you're close enough, you can see that the pinkness is coming from like beautiful pink blossoms. And you know that it that it blossoms annually, but only creates cherries every 10 years. And eating a cherry picked less than a day ago, and said cherries are usually about the size of an apple, it grants a certain protection from evil for like 5 minutes.
Does this one have cherries on it? Big apple-sized cherries.
Roll a d10.
Can I not see that from 30 feet?
Roll a d10.
Okay. I mean, do I know anything else about these? Are they at all dangerous? Do they have defenses to them?
No, not at all. They're actually considered a sign of good luck.
That's a 1.
It is not. It does not have cherries on it.
Boo! That's okay.
But
I mean,
they do not grow on this plane.
makes sense.
They're only found. These trees are only found in the Feywild.
Can I like look around the tree? I mean, it just comes right up from the PMP. There's no like Fey-ish sort of landscape.
Not at all.
Am I getting any kind of bad sense as we kind of look? He kind of wants to touch down for.
Okay. So you touch down and land. You roll an investigation check.
Investigation. Press the button. That's a 9. I really got to get my regular dice out. D&D Beyond never treats me right.
Yeah, while you're getting your other dice, no sign of any other Fey presence. It's just that this has appeared.
How big is the tree? Is it like just a size of a normal kind of cherry tree, or is it much larger than that?
Size of a normal cherry tree.
Okay.
And like there's nothing around it. It just seems to be growing in the middle of fucking nowhere. These are not supposed to grow on the material plane.
There's no way that Valk would know this, but would Farm Girl recognize if it was grafted onto another tree or anything?
Levey,
What?
do you want? Is that something you would want to roll for?
Sure, why not?
All right, roll an investigation check.
Here we go. 16.
16. No, not grafted or anything.
Yeah, that there's just a tree.
Well, do we
Growing
want to
where it
graft
should.
it
It's-
back home?
It's very pretty.
It's a nice tree. A little invasive though.
Lish has prepped actually commune with nature for the day.
Okay.
I want to use that. It would burn my 5th level spell, so we'd have one less hour of owls. But
All right. And can you read the spell description for me, please?
oh, here, wait, let me double check. Commune with nature. Commune with nature. Might have selected the wrong one. I wanted to get the one that lets me talk to plants. Where is it? Thought it was. No, that's not the one I wanted. I thought I had the one that lets me talk to plants.
That one's speak with plants.
Speak with plants. Let's search real quick.
Speak
That-
with plants is a 3rd level.
Yeah, here we
Yeah.
go. It's going through all my spells. Yeah, I don't have that one prepared actually.
Okay.
Damn it.
It could take the hour.
Yeah. I mean, if we want to reset my speak with plants.
I think it might be a good idea, seeing how it's a Feywild tree in the middle of nowhere and it's not grafted onto another tree.
Okay.
Commune with
Meaning it might
nature.
have.
We are looking into
Crossplanes.
weird Fey shit.
Commune with nature also gives you knowledge of like powerful celestials, fey fiends, elementals, or undead in the area, influence from other planes of existence, or that type of stuff. So it is an option.
up to 3 facts.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Or
I
we
could
could take
I could
hours.
do it and then sit and if it doesn't work.
Is
We'd
this
be
the kind
down
of
an
tree
hour
that
of
would have
traveling anyway.
a
What's that?
person attached?
What do you mean, like pyrocanthia?
Like Pyrocanthia.
Could be some kind of dryadic thing.
Okay.
I mean, do I get the sense from my detect magic, Avery, that there's some kind of living aspect aside from tree magic?
Well, the tree itself is alive.
Yeah,
but
there's no other
there,
kind of.
there doesn't seem to be any people attached to it. The abjuration magic is typical for this tree because of the protection magic associated with its cherries.
Yeah, I want to talk to it. Can we sit for a hot second and I'll get that spell up. Yeah,
All right.
that's what we're gonna do.
So while Lish is, I assume, sitting at the base of the tree and vibing, what are the rest of you guys doing?
Since we're already losing an hour, do we want to cast the commune with nature spell, since we're losing that hour anyway, to read up the different spell?
Yeah, I mean that I can do commune with nature first.
Okay. So you sit on the ground at the base of the tree, and perform the verbal and semantic components for commune with nature. What's the first thing you try to learn about?
Right. So the radius is limited to 300 feet. The spell gives you knowledge of the land within 3 miles of you. Caves and other underground settings is limited to 300 feet. You instantly gain knowledge of up to 3 facts of your choice about any of the following subjects as they relate to the area. Training bodies of water, prevalent plants, materials, animals, or peoples. Powerful celestials, fae, fiends, elementals, or undead. Influence from other planes of existence and buildings. So as far as the first two, I want to know more, a fact about this tree.
Yeah. If you ask a question as it pertains to any of the things listed, I will answer it for you.
Yeah, I want to know first, influence from other planes of existence. How did this tree get here?
So as you close your eyes and concentrate on the tree, you see a vision of a sort of flicker between the planes, between this plane and the Feywild, allowing this tree, which had previously grown in the Feywild, to be transported here.
Flicker. Did anybody else have any ideas for the other two questions? We can ask it about itself.
You could ask if the flicker was in relation to a powerful fae being as part of influence of powerful extraplanar being.
Yeah.
Wasn't that one of the options?
Yeah, powerful fae. Yeah, I'll ask it, was that ripple caused by a fae or by the tree? What was it caused by?
It was caused by unknown forces.
Unknown forces.
I would ask it if there are any powerful fae in the area.
You could also ask, either you could ask what Avery suggested, or you could potentially ask how long it been here.
Hmm. Hmm. They're both good.
The time one would probably be better for the commune with nature, because commune with nature is more of a magical answer, is my understanding. Whereas if we were to speak with the plant, we could get answers about what it's interacted with in the time it's been here.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, how long ago did the plane shift happen? How long has it been here?
You get the impression that it's been here for about a month.
About a month. Okay. Those are my 3 questions. And then I'll continue to meditate and change my spells a little bit.
All right.
Let me look at what I've got to give up. You guys want to do something? Well, I'm thinking.
Levy's
Eagle
just been
to-
pacing. She's raring to fucking go, but she's gonna let things happen.
I've
But
still
she's
got a
pacing.
mask to work on, so he's whittling that.
Tobias is standing guard.
Oh,
Alright.
I can definitely get rid of plant growth for now. At least.
Tobias, roll a perception check.
Speak.
Eagle Demir is going to use the last hour of her, or the last whatever we have of her hour of polymorph to go hunting as well.
All right, you roll a perception check then.
Okay. I use the eagle's perception, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Tobias rolled a 19.
Okay. Tobias, you're keeping an eye out in the surrounding countryside, and things seem pretty calm. In fact, there are no people other than you guys in sight, and there aren't even any trees that you can see other than the one that you're next to. Demir.
That is a 22.
All right, what are you hunting for?
Whatever a giant eagle would eat. I assume like a bunny rabbit or
Okay. Yeah, you're able to use your super cool eagle vision and find a bunny rabbit.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that.
right.
And probably bring it back in my talons to the group, and I'm like assuming she's near the end of her hour. So the way I'm picturing this is that she grabs the bunny rabbit, flies back to the group, lands, poofs, and is just holding this like very bloody rabbit. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why I wanted this.
Soup.
Yeah, okay.
Demir will. Actually, she's going to look to Tobias and like, Tobias, do you know how to bloody rabbit?
Tobias will wordlessly take the rabbit and start skinning and cleaning it
Okay.
to take with them.
All right. And while all that's going on, Lish, you finish swapping your spells around.
Yeah. Yep. Speak with plants. I imbue plants within 30 feet of me with limited sentience and animation.
All right.
Yep. What
see.
voice are you gonna go with, Avery?
I don't know. Okay,
Oh,
last for 10 minutes. Okay.
It can move slightly if it wants to. It can follow my simple commands.
So the tree shakes a little bit as you imbue it with this magic, and a couple of blossoms drift down.
Kiss, kiss, falling love.
Hello?
Hello. Kind of hand on the bark.
What? Why are you speaking to me?
I wanted to ask you some questions. You are a bit out of time and out of place. Have you noticed this?
I have, actually. But so are you.
Yes. You've been here for quite some time. Do you remember how you got here?
I was back home in the spring court, and things shifted, and now I'm here. It is not as loud here. But there are not as many people dancing.
Fucking roasted. Lish will kind of smile at that. And he'll ask, did any other creature besides you come through? Any
No,
other plants? Any other?
just me. It's very quiet here.
Is this plane hurting you at all? Or are you satisfied with where your roots are?
It does not hurt, but it is lonely.
God, what else? What else can I ask? I need my brain.
You could plant up some children's off of some cuttings off of it if it's truly that lonely.
I didn't do plant growth to speak with plants. So this is the one I switched out.
Or
That's
something.
We could do it when we come back,
I might have.
as long as we mark the location on our map.
We have some magic like seeds we can grow.
I mean, yeah, I have druid craft. I could like do little bits of druid craft around before we go. Start some seedlings and flowers. But as
I
far
have
as like,
5 I think they're
questions,
bushes I can put down. You
so
could ask it. Have you asked it if anything else came through with it?
it said it was just it that came through. I'll ask, did you notice anything that happened prior to coming here? Was it just very loud dancing, or was it a commotion before you traveled? Was there anything scary that happened beforehand?
No, things are calm. They're cheerful. People were dancing. They were drinking.
What court is she from?
Spring Court. It's like insight check on this fucking tree.
Roll an insight check on the tree.
21. Is this tree?
She seems pretty honest. She's a tree.
I don't know. Trees can lie. Why not? Fey trees, man. Has this tree noticed any other trees disappearing before they left? Any friends left?
Well, no trees, but people come and go from the Feywild all the time.
And you haven't had any other visitors here?
No.
Strange.
I am a tree. I do not go places too often.
If ever.
I grow my fruit, and I grow my flowers, and I listen to the fawns and the satyrs dance.
Can I like look around and see if there's any like fallen branches on the ground or like any significant chunks of wood?
Sure, roll an investigation check.
No, I'm gonna roll this one. D&D Beyond, do me dirty. Let's see. 17 on the die, plus 1's 18.
There are no broken branches or anything. Nothing seems to have fallen other than like the odd blossom, but the tree seems very healthy.
How big is it, like in terms of size?
It's like the size of a regular cherry tree.
Would it be possible for me to take one of your boughs, a piece of your bark in order to, or piece of your wood in order to reach out to you again, perhaps in the future?
I did not think that the Lord of the Winter Court would be interested in communing with the spring.
Well, you of all people should know loneliness when separated from your own kind.
I suppose. And you see one of the branches near you dip a little bit so that you could cut it if you wanted.
Yeah, he'll go and he'll take a piece of branch.
Okay.
He wants it like just a little bit kind of on the thicker side.
Okay.
To hold on to. And he'll bow and is there anything else that you might remember that might be helpful for us who are hoping to get home?
I'm sorry, but I did not have much cause to examine beyond my roots back home.
Well, I will leave you some friends to keep you company.
I would be appreciative.
Anything else anybody wants me to ask of this tree before it is done?
I do have a question. Is this a private conversation or are we all hearing this?
You are only hearing Lish's half of the conversation.
The rest of
Okay.
it is shh.
So I didn't hear them say that Lish is a part or ruling member of a court in the Fae.
Not right now.
Because that's the bombshell that I'm kind of waiting around for. Also, once we're done with the tree shenanigans, I would appreciate a vote on if we left or brought Crunchy, since we didn't discuss that before we left.
I thought we did, because I don't want to leave him alone with the children. This is chaos, and the house will burn down.
Okay, it looks like everyone's in agreement. Crunchy's with.
I had assumed that you brought him with you.
I think everyone here at the metaphorical table is in consensus that if we did leave Crunchy back at home, when we come back, it's going to be a kobold den.
I assumed. I just didn't want to keep
by
assuming.
mitosis? What's going on there?
Listen, I didn't say it was a kobold den of multiple kobolds.
Okay.
Or he finds a pretty lizard.
Okay, I think the last thing that Lish will ask before he's done is, what can I call you? Ask for a name.
I hadn't really thought of it before. I just think of myself as me.
Aaron says, also ask pronouns.
What are your pronouns?
Okay, you asked the tree for pronouns.
Trees.
Well, you can use any for me.
Fruit bearing tree.
Fey femme.
Fey femme.
There's literally fae, fair, fairs pronouns, so you can do that.
Yeah, well, that's fine to him. That makes him happy. He'll let the tree go, and
okay,
he'll spend a little bit of time druid crafting some. There's probably some seedlings around in the soil somewhere that he'll push up. I don't know if I have any seeds in my inventory, but no, I do. In the pouch that I got from the dead body by the shrine up in the north, I got in my pouch of teeth. There's some wildflowers, and so I assume that there's some seeds in the wildflowers, and he'll kind of spread those and grow some wildflowers around and some saplings.
All right.
Yep. Well, we got some information, I guess. We got a new tree friend.
Tree friend, me.
Just to confirm, we are able to mark this location on our map, right? So
We
that
should.
can go back to it or find it in the future.
I'll tell you what, roll a survival check just to look at the positioning of the sun and how long you've traveled in relation to
I'm gonna do that too.
Ooh, can I?
Yeah.
Could I roll with advantage then? Because Tobias has a survival of +5.
well, it looks like you guys are rolling individually.
Okay.
I got a 19.
All right.
That's way better than what I got. That's a 10.
Same.
It's a decent sized tree. When I get travel by plants, do you think we'd be able to fit through it if we wanted to?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. So this is somewhere between if I look at our world map. Here. It's someplace between Royus and
closer to Royus than Blemix. But yeah.
Closer to Royus than Blemix. Where's the one that has all the I need the one that has the city names.
Hold on.
None of these have the city names.
In And yoink. There we go. All right. So it's like here-ish, near the S in Royas.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, we still got a long way to go.
You're on your first day of travel.
What time is it? How late is it? Should we camp?
At this point in the day, it'd be like late afternoon.
Okay, we can probably still travel for a while then. I still have spells and stuff to burn.
Okay. For the sake of time, the rest of the day passes uneventfully. Yeah.
Soup.
Rabbit soup. Volk up on the owl, like
Add
cutting
some
rabbits
potato.
up.
Mash them, boil them, stick them in a stew.
You cook up the rabbit that Demir had yoinked earlier.
Yeah. Are we going to like take watches at night when we camp down, or are we?
I think we should.
Tobias will take first watch.
Yeah, and I'll take second.
Well, she'll take last or whatever.
Maybe we'll take a watch as well.
Hawk, the
Hulk is most
literal
def-
sentry robot, will take his constant vigil.
All right.
Valk is not taking a watch, so
It's not like Roboboy has anything better to do while he quote unquote sleeps. So
Demir's not taking a watch, but she is going to stay up a little late. So into Toby's watch. And finally, like, kind of has been doing her own thing, like hanging out with Lish a little bit. But she is, like, once it seems like most people have gone to sleep, she is going to go over to Toby and just kind of sit next to him and look out the opposite direction, just like sitting next to him but not looking at him. You were right about Nevara. She was taking a lot, even when I didn't give at the festival. When I was fighting Jaid, I could feel her taking from me. And you made the right decision. She was evil.
When Demir sits beside Tobias, he appears tense. And when she goes on to say, "You were right about Nevara," he appears a mixture of surprised and confused, if not a little on edge. Kind of just waits for Demir to say more.
Vivian and I talked a lot in that week. Finally kind of looks over at him.
He's keeping a focus on their surroundings, but when he does look at her, there's an almost anticipation, like waiting for something to, whether it be bad to happen or something to occur. Like he expects there's more, that this is going to turn around to him at some point.
She's just kind of looking at him, and when she sees the look of anticipation on his face, she just kind of reaches out and puts her hand on his.
He jumps at that, and she can feel his tremors gone.
You don't need to distance yourself from me. I'm not asking that of you.
Aren't you angry with me?
I was. But wasn't right of me. I'm not good at this. Any of it. But I know you didn't mean to hurt me. I know Vervain didn't mean to hurt me. I'm trying. And like I said, Nevada was evil anyway, so I can't be too mad about it. She was lying and manipulating me, and I would be stupid if I held that against you.
I don't understand why you're telling me this. Is it... I'm okay with you being angry at me. I'm not going to leave. I made a promise to you, and I made promises to Lish and Levey. You don't have to say things like this to...
I'm telling you because I care about you. I didn't lie when I said I loved you. And that hasn't changed.
Back when... wait, no, maybe not. Sorry, I'm trying to like properly word how to respond to this. You would still care about someone like me after what I did. After I betrayed you.
Levey did the same. I still love him.
But you scorned him for quite some time. How am I different?
I'm trying, Toby. Why do you think that I why do you think that I'd want to hate you when I say I don't?
Because I've seen how you can hold on to your anger. And there were moments throughout our time together where you would say things like back in the woods between you and Hawk. And you said that he was right, that you didn't care. I'm not saying that there's always two sides to you, and I don't know when you're showing which one to me. Whether if it's I know that you care because I've seen the way that you look at Lish and at Levey, sometimes even to me, and I know that you do things that you do, like with Nevara, because you care so much about the people around you. And kind of just like lets out a heavy sigh. What I'm trying to say is I don't fully understand maybe it's I just don't believe it yet. That you would truly care about someone like me when I'm not able to help you the way Levy or Lish or how Nagara could. I can't heal people. I can't bring anyone back. I can't hurl spells or invisible or misty stuff. I can't. All I do is I know how to hurt people. I was raised to kill and murder. I was told that I wasn't worth loving. So how, after I betrayed you, do you still find reason to love me or to care for me?
I don't think you are a weapon. I think you're a protector. It may look similar, but the purpose is different. Like I said, you're a good man. And I'm trying. Because in the past, caring has always gotten me hurt. So I learned not to. But I don't want to be alone like that anymore. Having Vervain made me realize how alone I was, and if I can have him, then I can have you, and I can have Levy, and Erin, and Falk, and maybe even Hawk. But It's not easy. But I'm trying because I think, Tobias, you are worth trying for.
He kind of almost appears sad at that, and says, if I'm to be protected, then I must give poor excuse for one if I got one of the people I swore to protect killed. But it's not my place to tell you what you can and can't do. It's not my choice. I don't know if I will ever believe in what you say about me being worthy of trying for. But if there's one thing I'm good at, it's putting my faith in others. I have not forgiven myself for what I did. I don't know if I will. But I can at least promise you that I still love you, even if I might not let myself act on it.
Let yourself. We're in this together, all of us. And we all need to be there for Levey. So we need to be there for each other too.
At that, Tobias, her hand is still on top of his, right?
Mm-hmm.
He slowly rotates it over so that their palms are now touching, and just kind of quietly, not fully, there's still hesitation, there's still the kind of need to punish himself, but his fingers do coil around hers just slightly. He'll allow himself that much.
She'll hold his hand back. Lean against him a little bit.
He will let her.
She's gonna stay like that for probably not too long, because she ends up falling asleep with her head on his shoulder.
Yeah, when she does, and when his watch shift is over, he will put her to bed next to Lish, and then go to where he's sleeping, either next to Levy, or though if they're all sharing intense stuff, he might just hang out under a tree like he normally does.
Lish and Levy cuddling. Open up an eye at Toby, like.
Yeah, he adds Demir to the cuddle pile, then heads back out. Actually, probably once she finishes, or once Demir falls asleep, he'll put her to bed with Lish and Levy, and then go back to finish his watch shift. And then when he stops, he'll just take a place sleeping bag on the ground outside.
Levy was gonna wake up for the last watch, by the way, even if somebody else is already gonna be awake.
Lish was doing that one too, so or whatever. It doesn't really matter.
I know Valk wanted to do a watch, second or third.
Valk is very much a morning person.
We can do third, and
yeah, we can do
usually
third.
4, right? So we can do.
Valk can have 4.
DM, do we have 4 watches usually? What is it?
You usually have 3 watches.
Oh, okay.
I personally just sort of assume that Hawk's always on watch because his Sentry's Rest feature lets him perceive his surroundings while quote unquote sleeping.
Lish will sleep then. Or sleep.
I was gonna say you don't sleep. You vibe.
We have
and sorry if you can hear my dumbass son screaming in the background.
We can't actually hear Kingsley, so don't worry.
Okay, good.
Just a reminder that we have 2 people who don't like sleep in the party, so watch isn't usually that hard to figure out.
Lish will just stay in the tent with Demir, and if Levy wants to get up, then that's fine. But
yeah,
totally. If you want to do watch for RP reasons, by all means. I'm not saying don't.
It doesn't really matter if it's with somebody else or not. Levy just is feeling restless because they're actually on the move towards dealing with her shit. So she's like,
all right. Are there any other dramatic conversations that y'all want to have?
Well, if Levy is up with Valk during her watch, she would probably ask a couple questions about what they're walking into, not in front of the rest of the party.
Sure. Levy also wanted to talk to Lish, but that can also happen on the road or whatever.
I mean, he's awake if you want to just talk to him.
Yeah.
He'll
do your thing.
But I mean, you can go talk to Valk. That's fine. We can talk later.
Yeah. Levy will probably not want to disturb the sleep pile too much by waking up and then fucking talking. So she's probably gonna go out and sit a polite but not unfriendly distance from Valk.
Since Valk isn't like being in front of people, she's probably reverted back to her winged situation, and so she just kind of looks over at Levy and says, "Good morning. Trouble sleeping?"
I'm a little eager to go. By the way, you don't have to do all that if it's just us around. By the way, I don't spook easy.
Just trying to figure out people a little bit better since life. You said you were excited to be heading in this direction. Do you mind sharing a little bit more about that? I don't really have anywhere like that for me.
No, it's all right. Just I won't call her my baby sister, but she's not a baby no more. My younger sister Grace, I was hoping to see her first, really. I'll try and direct all of us to touch down on the old family farm when we get to town, just because I don't think the town itself would take very kindly to just a bunch of people flying in on some big old birds.
Rural?
Very.
I know what that's like. First couple years we're in a rural town, it was a lot.
Yeah. I won't let nobody give you any ration of shit though, Rock.
It's been a while since I let shit settle.
Even still, nobody deserves to be talked to and treated poorly just because of how they look.
That
Don't matter
is
if you're used to it.
appreciated.
But we're looking for my cousin. He's actually a tiefling, and she'll describe him. He's like, yay tall, brick red, horns that actually they do one of these. They start here and then they curve and twist back behind the ears, and then they come forward and frame the jaw and point down. Big fluffy tiefling hair. It's all like charcoal black and all of that.
Did you have a close relationship with them while you were growing up?
Oh, when we were growing up, we were the black sheep of the family. You see, my family is used to being just a bunch of very normal human farmers.
And you can just hear the disdain in
She's
Val's
just-
voice.
Volk fucking knows.
Well, again, my first few years were fortunately the more positive aspect of rural bumpkin life, going, that's different. It must be a sign from God and a holy thing, as opposed to a negative, but it was still alienating. And
Oh, for sure. I bet it does. Alienating isn't fun either way. But we were not treated very kindly. So for a long time, even after Grace came into the picture, well, I mean, the family got into her head pretty quick. So we weren't always close, but my cousin Poet and I, growing up, well, Volk, he was everything, and I hesitate to tell you this in case you go wanting to murder my family like the others do. Well, not murder, just
retribution.
Yes. Let's just say there was an attempt on my life orchestrated by my aunt. And I really hope we don't see her, because I just frankly don't want to. We might have to, but I would prefer not to. But I guess I'm just a little worried about anybody but me interacting with her, because she's just... I don't want anything to happen to her. I just don't want to see it. It's complicated. So I'm very excited to see my sister. I'm a little wary to see the rest. I would like to know that my parents are okay. And I want to see if I can't talk to a few people in town who are also not terribly integrated into the larger society of the town, and see if I can't find some kind of lead to follow. I need to check in on my folks.
I will do my best to help facilitate that. However, if shit gets started, you can rely on me to end it best I can.
I appreciate it, Bolt. I would rather just keep things civil. I hope that lets you know what's going on a little bit better. Puts you at a bit of ease. It's nothing too crazy, just family.
I actually don't have a lot of experience with family. I don't actually know if I have siblings.
It's very interesting.
Dad's old, so I suppose he could have
Probably.
done stuff previously, but he's never talked about that with me. And, well, haven't seen my mom in a while.
Do you miss her?
Never knew her well enough to miss her.
I'm sorry, Volk.
So I suppose I miss the concept of her, but I was raised in the church. What can I say? It was my experience.
All right.
I hope this goes well for you. And if it doesn't go well, know that you certainly have me on your side. And from what I can tell from the rest of the roses, they're sure as hell on your side too.
Yes, I just hope they'll listen to me if I ask them to maybe back off a bit.
And if they don't listen to you, that's not on you. That's on them. I won't.
Oh, I hope they know I'll be very cross with them if they don't, but that's beside the point.
I appreciate you sharing with me, by the way.
Of course. I'm sorry that I didn't get you in the loop a bit sooner, seeing as you're coming to help and all. I do appreciate you coming along. Any help is great. I
would have offered to help even if I wasn't tagging along for Demir.
Thank you, Bob. You're a very good woman. Very good friend.
Well, I do my best to do good, and you deserve more good in your life.
Oh, stop being sweet.
It's not sweet, it's true.
Fine. She's gonna stand up and kind of maybe pace a circuit around the camp, just kind of looking, and then she might actually duck back into the tent to kind of search out Lish, see if he's up.
I mean, he's always awake, more or less.
Yeah, but is he like fully conscious? is he mid meditation, or is he like vibing?
Let's roll for it.
Spin a wheel, throw a dart, see if Lish is available. She's not going to interrupt his rest.
Highs, he's asleep. Lows, he's awake. He's asleep. Well, meditating. But she can, like, nudge him. He, like, kind of, like, drowsy, opens an eye towards her when she comes back into the tent.
kind of whispering, but I should probably speak at a relative volume for my camera to fucking pick me up. Oh, goodness. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to wake you.
Just kind of tilts his head towards her.
I got some worries, Lish. You think I could talk to you?
He kind of like looks like past her, past the tent entrance, sees if there's anything going on outside, but he'll start to kind of he'll like kiss Demir's poor little sleepy head and detach himself from her octopus arms and
the inevitable koalaing of Demir.
yeah, he like reaches an arm out towards Levey, like pull me out. Get a little leverage.
Distract himself.
Yeah, he'll come outside. Is Tobias out there awake still, or is Tobias asleep?
Tobias is asleep under a tree off to the side because his watch ended.
Yeah. I was gonna say Tobias would be out for hours at this point.
Right.
Yeah. Big man, fall asleep.
Does he have like a bedroll over him?
Yeah, he's got his bedroll and sleeping supplies.
Okay. Okay, good. Yeah. Lish is there. We gonna sit somewhere?
when he goes to like kind of check that Toby's like asleep and talk to the fucking Levy's just gonna kind of actually she's gonna do that like oh yep, that's one of my worries right there. I'm worried about that.
I mean, he's all tucked up for sleep. Looks like. Is Volk up then still?
Yeah, I would still be up. She would kind of look over and like, do you want me to join, or are you kind of looking for privacy? Privacy it is. It's so she just kind of then stiff walks.
Power walks into the bushes.
Fucking love Volk so much. Queen.
Beard bird lady for the win.
10 out of 10. I guess she'll find a relatively comfy patch of grass or whatever the fuck to sit on and
Lish will pull a blanket out of the tent and put it around Levy, and the two of them bundle up in a little burrito.
Oh yeah. She'll kind of lean into him and do this, do one of those big old stress sighs of like. I'm a little worried about when we get to where we're going and y'all meet my family.
Worried how?
It's just I know what they did to me was wrong, and I mean I can't stop you guys from caring about me and not appreciating what they did. But I don't want any trouble for anybody. I'm worried about Demir's smart mouth and Toby being as protective as he is, and Aaron's. It's so hard to describe this man and his demeanor.
It's cold.
He's fucking. Aaron's an enigma.
An enigma in a ball gown.
I just, and maybe a little bit hard getting away from himself. Just a little. Kind of in regards to my parents, but mostly my aunt. I mean, it's hard. I find it very hard to be upset with my parents, and I just, on some level, I know they love and care for me, and that even though it was wrong, they did what they did because they just didn't know what else to do for me, and they had very bad advice. But I mean, they already got the consequences of their actions. I left, and I don't want to go back. I want to see them, and I want to know that they're okay. I don't wish them ill, and I don't particularly wish my aunt anything. She already lost her child. Poet didn't go back home after the whole thing where I nearly drowned, and then he disappeared. And I don't know how much she even cares about him, that would affect her all much. But they've already served the consequences of their actions. I don't need nobody starting nothing. And when we were leaving, and I told y'all to try and just at least be neutral, I got so much pushback. I'm worried. At least some of the others won't listen to me about that.
How are you feeling about going back?
Oh, parts of me are terrified, and other parts of me are eager to see. All of me is very eager to see my sister. And I want to see my parents and know that they're okay. Maybe that even they're well, they're doing good. That would be nice. And again, I don't want to see my aunt, but I might have to, and I don't particularly wish anything for her either way.
They just want to protect you.
I know. And I appreciate that y'all are so protective of me, but I want to at least try and hold my own against them for once, you know? I don't want to.
I understand.
I want to handle this as peacefully as possible.
But we've also seen quite a bit of your pain.
Sure.
And we do have a fierce reaction to that.
I don't want to sound ungrateful. I don't want nothing to happen to nobody.
If you do not wish for us to hurt your family, we will not hurt them. They are just people. They are not soldiers or bandits or villains.
And yeah, that's
villains,
fine.
Perhaps, actually. Of a different kind of villain.
Sure. Boogeyman of my childhood and all that.
but it does not necessarily mean murder.
No, I don't want dramatics, and I don't want fighting of any kind. Get that?
I understand. Perhaps not fully, but I understand your wishes.
Thank you. I know my parents love me, and some part of me loves them to a certain degree. And I don't want to stress Grace out by me coming home and just bringing all my friends and people that I've found who love me and I love them and all of that. I don't want to be seen as somebody who disappeared and just dragged that a bunch of trouble, because that's not what I want to do. I just want to check in, see if I can't find some more threads to follow, move along.
It's understandable. I think that if you just
deal with things as they come.
Well, tell everybody so that they know exactly where the line is drawn. No one will cross it, and if they do, they can deal with you and I.
Thank you, Lish. If I can't handle something on my own, I'll ask for help, but I want to try and handle certain things myself first. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's been hard to sort my thoughts. Sorry.
I think that that's clean enough. But I'll tell you, this line in the sand will be stepped over if they make any attempt to hurt you. And I hope that that helps you rest easily with going to see them.
Oh, trust me, bringing all of you, even coming back alone, I wouldn't be scared of them trying to physically hurt me again. I can hold my own very well now.
Yes, you can.
With all of you next to me, it's hard to really be fully scared about much of anything, really. At least not when I can just make, at least not when I'm in my right mind and I can make sense of things. You know?
Do you think that seeing them will cause you to fall down a step or two?
Oh, probably. I'm already all restless and fidgety and a bit flighty, but that's instinct, I think.
And if that happens to where you're not able to do anything, what would you have us do?
Well, any kind of escalation of anything would make it much worse. I think I would trust your judgment, Lish, if you thought I needed to just be removed from the whole thing and just, we could find an inn in town and not have to stay near them, that'd be fine. And if we had to leave town, that'd be fine. Or if...
As much as we can keep you on your feet, I think that would prove a stronger message to your family. We have had some luck with restorations on your psyche. Would that be appropriate?
I think so. Yeah, that sort of thing. And just... if I get real bad, maybe just try and get everything to calm down.
You tell us what you need.
I will if I can.
He'll kind of like pull her up against the side of him and just tell her, you're probably too restless, but try to rest a little bit.
I will. I know not sleeping won't help nothing. And Toby would be terribly mad at me for not sleeping.
Pointed look over to Tobias. Nose starts bleeding in his sleep.
In his dreams, he's like, somebody's fucking talking.
The call outpost.
Somebody's adding me on Twitter.
Speaking of as they sleep, Hawk's arm sort of just like the one closest to Levey and Lish sort of just like jitters a bit before it sort of like robotically raises, and he like sighs.
Robot arms, robot arms. Where's Biog? Is Biog just chilling?
Biog's probably just like perched somewhere, like
on top of Hawk's head, just like
yeah, literally just like small owl hat. He sort of just like mutters, I should probably come clean, shouldn't I?
I feel like Bright Mellow's like always trying to go like cowboy on Biog's back.
Hell yeah. A royal steed for a royal assistant of royalty.
But she seems to have calmed down a bit. Like she seems a bit more at ease. Kind of snuggles up to Lish. Thanks for helping me get my thoughts in order.
Hawk's arm sort of like actuates a little more, like he looks like he's kind of like stretching it out a bit, except he doesn't have a need to stretch. And he sort of just like slowly gets up. It's clear that he's awake at this point. And sort of just like gestures a little along the lines of what he also says. Is it all right if I come over?
Lish isn't gonna stop you.
What's up, Hawk?
All right. He approaches and takes a seat nearby and says, I couldn't help but eavesdrop. And I just want to say that, like Lish, I will do only what you ask of me for this. I don't expect things to get too violent. At least I would hope so. But if I won't make a move against anyone, but if anyone tries to attack you, I'll do my best to hold them off. I swore a long time ago that I wouldn't hurt a human being, or, well, any non-human being, elves. Person, thank you. I wouldn't hurt anyone. I promised that a long time ago, and I intend to uphold that to the best of my ability.
Thank you, Hawk. I know y'all are protective of me, and I'm very grateful. It's just, I don't want any more trouble related to my family than I've already had.
That's perfectly understandable, and I'm not looking to cause any.
I know.
That said, about eavesdropping, there were some things I wanted to talk about with Lish. Just caught in the guilt of eavesdropping on this.
Bed. I can go back to bed.
No, it's all right.
It's just like we just got comfortable here under the blanket.
I'm not gonna ask you to move.
You already unseated me once tonight. You
I'm
get
not gonna
one.
ask you to move. Once we're done, I'll go back over there. Biog's probably still on top of his head, by the way. I don't think she's moved. Do you remember back in Tasha's caravan, I guess you could say, Lish? Something along the lines of secrets among secrets. I figured now that it's fresh in my mind, I should probably come clean and say that I did hear what you and Demir were talking about that night. So I've known you were Vervain for a while.
English is just kind of watching at you, looking.
I don't intend to do anything with anything I heard, and I think most of it's just common knowledge at this point, but the guilt sort of resurfaced, and I wanted to come clean.
I knew you were listening that night because you did make a comment in Sylvan.
Oh no, I know.
After
You did give me quite the look.
You don't need to come clean on that.
Fair enough.
We knew. I mean, Lish will just look at you. He's just kind of like quirks an eyebrow, like, I thought we had established between the two of us that we had already.
Yeah, not verbally. Either way, I guess I should ask. Why Lish and not Vervain?
Well, Vervain is the name of the king.
Is that not you?
Am I a king where we sit?
I didn't think that where you're sitting would change much of that.
Where is my throne? Where are my people?
All right, fair point. After what Levey read in that journal, it is a little concerning to think of what might be awaiting you at home.
His like temperature is dropping, like very much so into ice.
I know it may be a small comfort, if any comfort at all, but you did help me back in the woods with Pyrocanthia. So I would be willing to help you. I'm not sure how much use I would be, but if the day ever comes that you think you could storm back home and take your throne, I would help.
I am glad for it. Certainly, retaking a throne is a challenging task.
Mm-hmm.
as it has not been done before.
Yeah, I don't imagine it'll be easy in the slightest. Your kind isn't of this world, after all, and quite powerful to boot. I'd still say that you're quite powerful yourself, even if you have been cast off a chair.
Hawk always knows just the best things to say that aren't,
He's not trying to.
but he is.
Oops. 8 charisma, baby.
God, you must have been
there,
real.
like looking at Hawk, beaming the word "shut the." Like she in Hawk's head, he hears Hawk. Tact.
God, you must have been real powerful before you got kicked off your throne.
He said like you're still really powerful though.
But you must have been even more powerful back then. How about that? Sucks, ain't it?
So this is an actual telepathic message, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just directly into his head. Hawk,
Right, so
maybe not that.
Hawk's just like the fingers on Temple's thing. He's like, shit, right. I'm doing it again, aren't I?
Yeah, I mean, you feel the temperature around this area like dropping, like physically, like.
Sorry.
Lish is gonna get a nudge of a shoulder into his fucking like collarbone from where he's got Levey like seat belted the fuck in for some reason. She's gonna go like you're making it cold.
Bundle the blanket up tighter. Can't be cold if you're wrapped in a blanket. Ain't that right?
Isn't the cold coming from him? The DM nodded.
Poor Kano Lostos. around and from. Yeah, Levy bumping him kind of gets him to pay less attention to that. And he'll just like look from Levy to Hawk again and just be like,
Yes.
I mean, he just like looks at him for a long moment, just like
He's sort of just like doing like the sheepish like fingers together kind of thing, probably. Just like oops.
he's gonna swallow things that he would otherwise say and just say, certainly it is a task that will require much assistance. And your bow would be most useful in that task.
Well, when the day comes, I'll gladly lend it. One more thing, if you don't mind. It's not related to all this. And he sort of like gesticulates with one hand. I've been wondering something else about names. Back when I asked for advice, I'm actually going to pull up the document real quick that I've got for this. Here it is. Back when you gave me, you and Demir gave me tips for future dealings with the Fae after that incident with Pyrocanthia, you said to keep my name close. And whenever I've brought up my father, I've sort of intentionally kept his name close as well. So I have to ask, if I did say his name, would you do anything with it?
It is not my name. It was not given to me. You do not have that power.
All right.
Why? You afraid I'll do something with it?
Well, Demir did mention so long ago that you took hers, and I always feared that if I said his name aloud, something similar might happen.
I did not take her name.
Yes, that is. So, in that case, since you've expressed visible curiosity about me in the past,
As have you of me.
would you like to know it?
Go on then. You good, Felix?
Um, his name is, I'm not sure of the tense anymore, but it was Jamie.
We haven't told Hawk that we know that he's alive yet, right? Oh no.
Hawk assumes slash kind of knows he's around because of Valkyrie's vision back in the wizard tower.
Hawk does not
Said
know
shit.
that Demir scryed on him again while you guys were visiting Opius.
Hawk doesn't know that Demir has been trying to scry on him at all.
Mhm.
The mirror hasn't said.
Part of why I'm giving this
anything.
out is because I think it'd be interesting. And when Hawk says his father's name, Jamie, it sort of like carries this like fondness. Kind of like if you were talking about a relative that was once in the family that you loved, but is just no longer with you. I'm not sure if he's still around. I have so little to go off of, but as much as part of me fears what would happen if we did meet before my time, I do miss him, and I would like to see him again.
It would be fascinating.
It probably would.
For the child to meet the father before being born.
Or disastrous. I'm not sure.
Who knows? Perhaps you could conceive your own creation.
Maybe. It's hard to tell. I'm obviously very inexperienced with time, despite having been subjected to it quite harshly.
And what do you think you'd do if you saw him?
I haven't really gotten that far yet. I can't exactly warn him of his death.
Did he not die of natural causes?
That's right.
So,
I'm not sure if giving him a hard time limit would help.
I think every mortal should be left to their own devices on that front.
That's sort of what I was thinking.
After all, such information really should be paid for.
Even so, I think the three of us already know that I'm horrible with words, running up to my father and saying, "Hi, I'm your mechanical son. You're going to die in a couple years," isn't going to go over well.
That'd be pretty great, honestly. We should do that.
Maybe if he rolls low enough on a charisma check, who knows?
Maybe that's what causes his heart attack. My son from the future.
Holy shit, I have no time. I need to build him right now.
Oh boy.
On that front, I am sorry. Talking as well as just anything that comes naturally to people such as yourself just never came naturally to me. I'm trying my hardest to learn every day, but well, evidently it keeps falling short.
You should definitely watch the things that you say, or else it is a lesson that will bear repeating over and over again.
It's certainly repeated itself a few times by now, hasn't it?
You could find yourself indebted to something far worse than a dryad in the woods.
I would like to stop having to intrude, like barge into your head and tell you to maybe stop.
Well, I am thankful that you do, because I can't exactly stop myself sometimes.
It's a learned skill.
Precisely. And I'm always learning, but it never feels like I've learned enough.
Also, super quick, out of character, can I please showcase the Hawk oopsie button?
I love it. I didn't even notice the actual like mask mark. I love it.
I wrote backwards so you guys could read it through the camera.
It's backwards on the camera.
It's actually backwards on the camera. I think Zoom auto flips it.
Son of a bitch.
It's okay, honestly.
Showing up backwards for me.
I love you, Felix.
Well,
We
I
all
think you
love
should
you,
press the
Felix.
button.
Oh, I turned it off because I didn't want to come back and just. It's a nut button.
the oopsie sticker over the nut button. God.
The only button I have.
I mean, I guess I am the party nut.
Anyways. Sorry. Shit.
No, it's funny. Go on, though.
Lish will just shrug after a time and just say, well, we won't know until we pursue him, if that is something we wish to do.
It is, or at least I'd like to... You know, he did say that before he started making me, he did journey a while. Maybe that's what he's doing now, if he's not already home. I guess I've always been curious what those journeys entailed. Maybe if we ran into him, I could find out. And even then, what?
Sorry, nothing.
And even then, Jamie isn't really the only mystery that I'm looking into. I still wonder from time to time what caused Rosania to leave. Maybe I'll find that out someday too.
Unless either of them have something to do with jumping between planes or this time travel business.
Sort of like puts a hand to his chin and just goes like, I mean, that's not too far off. Time weirdness has been happening all around the place. That other party we ran into had someone who might as well have been a 1-year-old, if I remember correctly, maybe a 2-year-old. And Rosania, my mentor, whereas the things that I do with arrows are said to come from myself, she had to entreat another force. And I think, looking back, especially since Biag, I think, is definitely not from this world. Maybe she was entreating a natural plane we might be familiar with. I don't think it's any coincidence that she taught me all my command words in Sylvan.
That is intriguing.
That's all speculation, of course. I can't know for certain unless I ask her, and even then, that's going to be no more awkward of a conversation, no less awkward even than talking with my own father before I've even been made. I don't imagine, "Hi, I'm your student as of a few years in the future" is going to go any better.
Well, perhaps we can discuss it once we're done finding Poet.
Though, hear me out for a second. What if that's how she knows? What? Hear me out.
I'm listening.
But what if, like, you tell her, "Hey, I'm your student," later, and then she's like, and then that's how she knows to go. What if that's how she goes and finds you?
I mean, maybe.
What if that's how she meets you, and then she goes and finds you, and that's how you meet her?
Of all the things that had to break on the material plane, it had to be timed, didn't it? I don't even have a brain and it's hurting.
We can discuss loops all we want. It's impossible to know.
Well, at the very least, OFC did give me a lead on, or at least advice on how to find her. And thanks to Valkyria, I know the rough location of where Jamie might be or may have been. So I have 2 threads to look into, and yeah, hopefully we'll be able to pick up on them after we find and help Poet. That comes first, Levey.
I still feel like I want to punch him a little bit. I'll hug him after, though.
Just make sure you don't break him too hard before you do, right? Wouldn't be such a shame to go and find him only for you to kill him out of love.
It's fine. We got him. She like jabs Lish in the chest with her fucking she's pointing to him, but he's literally right there, so she ends up smacking him a little bit. It's fine. It's fine. Lish can fix it.
I have reincarnate now, so if Poet doesn't want to be a tiefling anymore, we can
You can roll the die.
we can roll the
And
die.
lose his sexy horns? Unbelievable.
Could be a minotaur.
He does have very good horns. Anyway,
I have a special chart for if the day ever comes that you roll for reincarnate.
What other species on that list have horns?
I'd imagine most of the races available, but anyway.
Well, if this was nice. I'm very tired. I don't want Toby to get mad at me for not sleeping. I think I'm gonna go back to bed.
Yeah, please do sleep. I should stop bothering the both of you.
You're not a bother. I just don't know what else.
Well, I can't
Say.
exactly get better at figures of speech if I never use them, right?
This is true. All right. Good night.
Good night. And just one final word, Lish. I do hope that you know that I would never intentionally say anything to hurt you, demean you, anything like that. I am sorry about letting my mouth run.
I don't think Lish has much of a reaction aside from he just kind of lays his forehead on Levey's shoulder and kind of goes into meditate.
Right. That's enough for me. Sleep well, both of you.
As Hawk walks away, Levey just hears Lish just go
He will get a pat on his cheek that isn't smushed into her shoulder.
Hawk just goes back to his spot and deactivates more or less.
She'll finish her watch and
All right. So the morning comes without incident. Do you guys have any conversations you'd like to accomplish before your departure?
I feel like Levy's gonna save it for the evening.
All right. So you continue on your way for the next day without incident. You're about halfway there at this point. Any discussions that need to be had, or do you want to move on to the next day? Get there as soon as possible.
I'm fine with keeping on cruising, but
Was Levy gonna set ground rules though? Like,
yeah, she was, but I'm kind of waiting for our dear Tobias player to get back.
That's fair, yeah.
Waiting for Kenny to return.
Yeah, Demir's just, I would say, keep on trucking.
All right.
Is Crunchy being difficult?
Oh yeah, he's like trying to wander off at any time you touch down. You kind of have to keep him tied up, like on a leash, so that he doesn't get too far.
I was going to say, does he have a toddler leash, like a toddler backpack leash? Tie a little rope harness around his armpits.
He eventually gets bored though and starts looking for sticks or materials or whatever that he can potentially build things out of, but he does not have any progress because you're in the middle of a fucking field.
Levy will attempt to occupy the scaly toddler with hand games like chopsticks and patty cake.
Let's see.
Oh, this is gonna go bad.
What kind of check would this be?
Probably
Roll an
charisma, right?
intelligence check.
A what?
An intelligence check.
She's always wearing that fucking headband, baby. Let's go. 14.
All right. Ooh. Baby boy rolled a natural 3 to understand. Yeah, you feel like you're doing a good job explaining things to him. But what the fuck his problem is, you don't know. He's like, he seems to think you're trying to do a contest with him in exchange for food, and like he's trying to do it faster than you, and then when you do it, when he does it faster than you, it's like, can I have food now? Did I do it right?
Valk wanders over with like a roll for him and goes, "It's a teamwork thing, buddy."
It's just supposed to be fun, really.
I wanted meat.
You get meat for dinner, roll now.
He shoves it in his mouth, keeps trying to go faster. He's not getting it. But
Levy's vibing with it. I feel
Yeah.
like she's just like, whatever, he's still like playing on his own terms, so it might as well be a win.
Positive interaction with another person.
Achieved. That's enrichment, baby.
all right. Uh, Tobias still not returned, so I guess we can move on to the next day. Someone can roll 1d100 just to see if you do end up having another random encounter.
Felix, do you want to do it again, or do you want someone else to do it? It's your arc. You have the right.
48.
48.
I'm having fun.
48. Death.
Okay.
Remember that time Levey fucking dealt like 48 damage in one go? That was fun.
So, while you're flying, you enter an airspace. And normally when you're flying, you can hear the sound of the air like rushing around you, and occasionally someone will like shout back to give instructions and of where or directions of where you're going. But you enter a space. There's just no sound. You're still flying and everything.
Levey attempts to do a little scream to see if she can still fucking hear herself.
You can't hear anything.
What's below us?
It's just more farmland.
Anything interesting in the farmland?
Nope.
I like to think that Hawk's like trying to say, does anyone else not hear anything? But because he doesn't even have a mouth to move, it just looks like he's looking around.
A little detect magic. See if I can. I mean, can I even cast that? Is there a verbal component? Let's see. Doesn't say. What is this?
See,
verbal somatic. So no, I couldn't.
Yeah. So you can't cast.
It's a mystery.
It's just.
I think we'll
you
just
guys
keep
can't
flying.
hear. And then, huh?
Oh, I was going to say, like, if Demir is an eagle, she's gonna kind of. Well, I guess she's an eagle. She'll just keep flying. But if she hits outside of the like little pocket of silence, she's going to like try and like kind of fly within its bounds and see if it's like a shape.
Okay. Yeah, you eventually you're able to locate the end of the silence. You can start hearing again very suddenly.
Yeah. Like if I like is it like a square if I like kind of fly around the edge of it, kind of dipping and weaving in between to try and like follow the silence?
Roll an investigation check.
Okay. Using the eagle?
Yeah. Since it's polymorph instead of shape change.
Yeah. Better roll high. That's a natural one.
You end up flying straight back into the middle of the silence.
Yup. She just, she's flying. She has an intelligence of 8.
All right. So the rest of you see Demir, like once you've exited the silent area, you see Demir like scoot around and just like fly straight back into it.
After flying through it, do we have an idea of how big the mute zone is?
You would guess maybe like 100 feet. wasn't too long. All right, do you guys just let Demir leave then?
Well, I mean, is she like she's coming back around, isn't she?
Oh, are you?
She's circling.
Yeah. She's not just gonna yeet off. I mean, she's still Demir, even though she only has 8 int.
Yeah, I mean,
Demir
she, like,
sitting in the middle of the silent
You're
spot,
right.
like,
She is
finally,
smaller
peace
than
of
Grog,
mind.
right? It's smarter than Grog right
yeah, she's just kind of doing a little circle through, and anything on the ground that she can see that like might be linked to the silence. I know that there's just farmland, but can she like look down and see, like, is there a house? Is there a structure of any type?
Roll perception check.
Cool. Oh my god, I'm not rolling well, but that's a 13.
13. Yeah, there's nothing. Like
Nothing.
one of the plots of farm looks like it might be corn
Hmm.
down there.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah,
the evil silent corn.
Can I do like an Arcana check to see if I can sense the center source of this?
Go for it.
$16.
You have no idea.
Hmm.
It just seems to be a cylinder of silence.
Well, I guess we keep flying then.
Okay.
Is there any buildings nearby the cylinder of silence?
Demir just checked for that, and no, there's no buildings. It's just farmland.
Okay, so none of the farmhouses for that farmland are nearby.
No. At
Okay,
least
so
not in the radius. There's a field of corn below you.
It's the corn aliens.
True.
Signs.
All right. The rest of the day passes uneventfully. You guys set up for the evening. And do we want to have the conversation now before we end?
Yes, please. I'll probably fucking forget in a week. When camp is set up, we was gonna do I don't know. It's just take on her fucking camp mug. Like, is this how you call attention in a group? Like, what am I getting? Could I just talk to y'all since that was day 3, right? So they're getting to town tomorrow. Okay.
Tomorrow evening. Yeah.
Since we're gonna wrap tomorrow evening, I wanted to talk to y'all real quick. Gosh. I don't expect you guys to get along perfectly with my family, but I just want to avoid any trouble. I want to try and handle them myself. I'll ask you guys for help if I need it. I promise. I still care about my parents. I love my little sister to bits. And on the off chance that we have to go see my aunt, I don't want, I know y'all mean well. I just don't want I don't want any more trouble than that's already gonna be. Like I said, I'll ask for help. I'll tell you guys what I need when I need it. But can we all just try and play nice as default?
It's your family, Levey.
Of course, yeah. We, I don't think any of us want to add on to the amount of problems that might come up.
Y'all are very sweet, and it warms my little heart that y'all want to protect me and would go to bat for me in any way against pretty much anyone. Just I want to handle it myself first, and just quite frankly, just having y'all here around with me, it helps a lot.
Unless
I haven't.
Unless Levey is in imminent danger, we will not step in. Yes. And he's going to look at Demir and get a verbal yes.
I won't hurt them.
You will not threaten them.
If they talk to you one-on-one, just try and keep it as civil as possible. If they pick a fight with you, that's your fight. I don't care. Just let me handle.
Glicia's gonna look at Tobias next and get a verbal yes.
I'm not saying don't be angry. I'm just saying maybe hold it in a little bit until it's appropriate not to.
We are not coming in, right, Levey, as you said, to cause trouble.
I will not cause problems.
But if they started, then maybe.
Like I said, and she's actually going to look at Toby very pointedly. I promise if I need help, I'll ask. And again,
I trust you, Levey. That's not what I'm worried about. Or I'm not worried about you not asking for help if you feel you need it.
Like
I'm not saying I don't trust all of you. I'm just paranoid when it comes to that whole mess. So I wanted.
I said that I would play nice. We've all said that we would play nice.
Thank you. That being said, feel free to look scary. I think it'd be real funny to see their faces.
Aaron just makes eye contact with Levey and quirks up an eyebrow and says, "Look scary?"
Maybe not that scary.
Until I get a second
Alright.
MasterCard for you to paint, the best I can do is take one off, and I am very reluctant to do that.
Oh.
I'm not, so you can count me out of that, I guess.
Fine, Hawk. I wouldn't want
But
you
yeah.
to do anything that makes you uncomfortable.
You have a
Thank you
bow
all.
you
They'll
can
know that,
certainly
we
brandish.
could mess them up if we had to.
Yes, that's a big if.
I won't hurt
And I
anyone.
meant it.
Demir,
I won't hurt anyone unless they hurt you.
You're coming out a little muffled. I didn't catch it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I won't hurt anyone unless they hurt you.
all right. Thank you.
I think we can look rather scary, though, if we need to. Hawk, you certainly have a bow you can brandish without taking a mask off. You are rather intimidating.
Thank you.
That being said, they really have already had some of the consequences of their actions come back to bite them anyways. I mean, two of the family's children left.
And like I told you, I don't intend on harming anyone, so the most I'll probably do is block a blow. And I don't only have a bow for that. And Hawk sort of like pats one of his sheathed swords.
All right, wonderful. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Of course.
And at that, Aaron's going to lift his arms out and say, group hug,
Levy's
but not
in.
make any motions to move towards Levey.
Levy's in. Fuck it. Let's go. Group hug.
Who else joins the group hug? We need to know.
I love Aaron.
Demir looks at Aaron like.
We're about to walk into a town full of racist pumpkins, and you want to do a group hug?
Yeah.
You know when cats are trying to play with you and they just launch themselves at your leg and just spike you? That's what Sniv is doing to Volk right now.
You're the only group I need.
So it's just Levy like hugging Aaron.
It's just
in this
Levy and
group
Aaron.
hug.
I mean, Aaron says group hug and stuff, and like Tobias kind of either rolls his eyes a little bit and kind of shakes his head and looks at Aaron fondly, as if, you know, like little brother kind of thing, and goes up and joins the group hug. So it's an actual group hug.
Val kind of walks up and goes, pat, pat, and kind of backs off sheepishly.
And she goes to pat, pat. Tobias just raises one arm and just fucking swings it around to bring her in fully.
There is no escape.
At which point, Valk's like, mind the wings, mind the wings, mind the wings.
One of us.
Hawk's just like, well, everyone else is doing it, and then just joins in.
Demir looks over at Lish like,
do we?
Aaron just looks over at them and does the, like, you know, looking at the, like, moving them over with his eyes kind of thing. Like, come on, come on.
Lish will kind of hook Demir by the waist and, like, go hug the side of, like, Toby or something. It's like, okay.
Has Hawk joined?
So awkward, it's painful.
Yeah. Hawk did like the shrug, guess I'll join. Everyone else is doing it and like joined in.
Meanwhile, Levy is giggling semi-hysterically and just goes, I love y'all. I love y'all.
It's like in a less serious situation, Hawk would be like, this is what humans do, right? Am I human incorrectly?
You are in fact people incorrectly. Good job, little robot man.
So, the evening passes uneventfully, and as does your travel the next day. Levy, you start in towards late afternoon, early evening, seeing familiar spaces. Blemix itself is less of a centralized city, more of like patchwork quilt of different farmland under the same jurisdiction. Well-worn paths wind their way between each farm, connecting them all in some fashion or another. Different farms seem to be growing different things, although generally farms in similar sections of Blemix are growing similar things. And to the southeast, just out of town, there's the summer glade and the flower meadow where you enjoyed spending your time with Poet and occasionally Grace when you were children. It's calm and peaceful, with very few people visible. Most of the houses you see are made of stone with straw or wooden shingled rooftops, although you do spy broad wooden barns here and there. Every so often, there's something akin to watchtowers where guards survey surrounding farmland, located typically on the corners of the paths mentioned before. They're there to ensure the farms are safe, but there's something of an ever-present feeling of being watched. All of the roads in the area seem to be leading the same direction, giving the impression it's sort of a spider web. Levy, you know that this all leads to a center square called the Garden Plaza, where many of the farmers will meet up and trade goods in a gentleman's agreement sort of way. And when gold passes hands, it's usually through the leaders of the town or people passing through. This is a community in which everyone is comfortable with each other for the most part. Everyone knows each other. And as you're flying, you do not go towards the Garden Plaza. You instead make your way southeast, not quite towards where the summer glade is in the flower garden, but towards where your home it was. And that's where we'll call session for today.
All right.
Yo, holy shit. Yo, holy shit.
Let's go.
Thanks for playing, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Fun was had by
Sure,
all.
as
Mistakes
always.
were made by me. Another section.
Great random encounter table. That was really interesting.
Yeah, no,
Are
I love the two that we've rolled so far.
Are we
Yeah,
entirely sure that Hawk's mouth hole isn't located on his foot? Because I'm fairly
I mean,
sure
that would explain how he hasn't found it yet. Just like one day, Demir's just like, Hawk, have you ever wondered why your voice comes from your boots? And Hawk's like, huh? Oh, that's where it is.
Now that we've gotten a feel for the random encounter table, it'll be more random to see if you actually get the encounters. But thank you for letting me test it.
Yeah, no, like these are good. Really cements the impression of, oh, the material plane is unraveling.
Yeah, I was gonna say, of all the encounters we could have gotten, the two that we got were both instances of, hey,
Very
material plane ain't so
thematic.
stable anymore, huh?
Super thematic.
The
I'm
world
loving it
kind
so
of
far.
Just stopped working here for a moment.
If the other encounters are like these two, hostile or not, that's very, very good world building.
If I
Yeah.
had a silver piece for every time a weird glitch in the matrix happened, I would, in one day or in 1 week, I would have 2 silver pieces, which is weird that it happened twice. Except for us, it's like, if I had a silver piece for every glitch in the matrix there was that we've experienced, I would have a handful, and that worries me.
Stressing.
I could buy a candy bar. Smile.
Anyway, thank you for playing, guys.
Thank you for DMing.
We'll play again soon.
Yes.
So excited.
Is it Saturday
next
yet?
time.
Fucking hell. Wait a whole